to drink. What's up, guys and dolls? Britt here, and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, hello babies, and welcome to my beautiful brats family. My name is Brittany, Britt, Brat, Britt, whichever floats your boat. In today's video, as you can tell by the title, is going to be yet another story time video. As you all know, yesterday was Sip and Tell Saturday, but I did not get around to uploading yesterday, so we're going to do a Sip and Tell Sunday instead to make up for that. I know I've been MIA, and I'm so sorry about that. It's literally been 3 weeks since my last update. 3 freaking weeks. Honestly, you guys, life hit me, and it hit me hard. Like, I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. I was just going through it, okay? But you know, I think I'm okay. I think I'm in a good place to start back filming and uploading when I'm supposed to and things like that, with the exception of yesterday, because I had an entire video ready. Like, I even talked about it on my Instagram story. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I had this whole entire rant. What day was it? Friday. It was either Thursday or Friday. I had this entire rant, you guys, about the story time that I'm going to be telling you guys today. And I had just finished filming it when I went on my Instagram story and ranting and venting and all that stuff. And yesterday morning, when I was editing it, getting ready to actually upload it, my dumb behind literally erased all the footage. So I had to go back, start from square one, and film all over again. Anyway, I'm going to do this Sip and Tell Sunday for you guys in place of yesterday's video. I am super sorry that I did not upload and that I have not been uploading, but I promise you guys I am going to try my best to not let life get in the way of everything and mess everything up. And I'm going to try my best to stick to the schedule that I gave you guys, because, you know, it's only fair. So grab something to sip on, grab something to munch on, and let's get right into this story time. Okay, you guys, so the sip of the day is a homemade cocktail that I made myself. Usually when I do a cocktail, you guys, it's mainly with wine, which today's cocktail is a wine cocktail. It's just sweet red wine and some cran apple juice. Mixed it up real good, let it chill and sit in the refrigerator or whatever. And then by the time I was ready to film, baby, it was chill, period. The story time of the day is going to be about the time that his side chick called me. Now, I know that y'all probably think y'all know where this is about to go, but trust me, you don't, because this one threw me for a loop when it happened. Mind you, this situation that we're going to be talking about today happened 6 years ago. The follow-up video that we're going to be discussing next week, that happened maybe about 2-3 days ago. So I don't understand why, but sometimes people just can't seem to leave things in the past. Like, this literally happened 6 years ago, and you want to bring it back into the mix. Like, you want to bring up old stuff. Like, for what? Are you bored? But anyway, let's hop right into the story time. As I said before, this did happen 6 years ago, meaning I was a sophomore in high school at this point. Now, although this did not start off as my issue, like my situation, I guess because of the company that I kept, it became my situation, but it wasn't my friend's fault, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, just stay tuned, stick around, listen to the story. So we're gonna call my friend, let's call her Stormy, okay? Stormy and I weren't super duper close, but you know, we had a pretty close relationship, I like to think. Even now, our relationship is pretty solid. And at this point in the school year, we were maybe like 3 months into our sophomore year, and she had been dating this guy. Well, at this point she had been talking to him. We're going to call him, we're just gonna roll with Eddie. So they had been talking for maybe a month or so when this situation started to kind of evolve, I guess you can say. One day, Stormy and I were walking to the bus lane. She would always walk me to the bus lane every day after school because we always had something to talk about. So we would always end up walking to the bus lane together, and then she would walk back around to the car rider lane to wait for her cousin because she lived with her cousin. So she was walking me to my bus or whatever after school, and she was telling me about how Eddie lately had reconnected with his ex, which wasn't a big deal for her because it was clear that the ex was no longer interested, but she had suspicions about Eddie and what his intentions with his ex were. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to call his ex-girlfriend Becky, okay? Let's call her Becky. Mind you, Becky is like 24, 25. I think she was 25 if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not for sure. Eddie is a senior in high school, meaning he's like 17, 18. Becky is like 24, 25. So when you think about it, they were together when he was like 15, 16, and she was maybe like, what, 22, 23. And that's illegal because, well, I'm not going to tell y'all how I know because it's going to play into the story time later. But yeah, so when you think about it, that's just like, that's illegal, sis. You could have got locked up, sis, because you were on your grown woman-ish and he was still a child. Like, what? But anyway, Stormy's basically just telling me how she's not sure how long their relationship is going to last because he seems to, you know, care more for Becky than he does for her, because apparently he was blowing her off constantly for Becky. Like, if Stormy was on the phone with Eddie and Becky called him, he would tell her, oh hey, I'll call you back, Becky's calling me, this, that, and the third. You know, just anytime she was talking to him, or maybe if she was with him and Becky popped up, he would leave her for his ex. And it was kind of like, I'm your girlfriend now, so why are you continuously blowing me off for someone from your past if you don't want to be with her? Because he was constantly telling her, you know, like, I don't want her, I want you, I'm with you, So as we're talking, mind you, at this point we're right in front of my bus, but we're trying to finish up our conversation a little bit. So I kind of like moved to the end of the line. You know, it'd be a line when people trying to get on the bus. So I moved to the end of the line because I'm like, I want to finish this tea or whatever. So as we're talking, this girl that neither one of us knows, we're going to call her Nosy, okay? So Nosy just walks in between us and butts into our conversation, and she's like,
girl, if I were you, I would just end it with him because obviously he doesn't know what he has.
This, that, and the third.
Tell his ex-girlfriend that if she want him, she can have him.
This, that, and the third. Now, my face is just gonna do what it wants to do regardless. So when I first looked at her, I kind of caught myself and I turned my head because I was like, I don't want no smoke with this girl. If she catch me looking at her like this, she gonna want some problems and she gonna think there's pressure, and I don't need all that drama, you know what I'm saying? Now in 2020, oh baby, I would not care at all. I would not give one care in the world. But back then, that was another story. So she finishes giving her terrible advice and then she walks off, and I look over at my friend Stormy and I'm like, girl, who is that? She was like, I don't know. And we kind of just like left it as is, and she went to go wait for her cousin in the car rider lane, and I got on my bus so I could go home. Fast forward a week later, me and Stormy are sitting at lunch with some of our other friends or whatever. All of us, we eating, chilling, you know, just talking, doing what we do. And Nosy walks up to the table.
Oh hey, can I sit with you guys?
This, that, and the third, and you know, we let her sit with us or whatever, even though Stormy and I are kind of like, I don't know. But the rest of the girls was like, oh yeah, sure, you can sit down. And because they already told her, yeah, Stormy and I was just like, okay, well, I guess she's sitting with us. So, out of nowhere, Nosy kind of just whispers to Stormy and I, and she's like,
so what happened with your boyfriend? Like, did you break up with him?
this, that, and the third. Like, just trying to get the tea. And Stormy, respectfully, you guys, I want to make it known, Stormy was as respectful and as polite as you can be in a situation like this. No disrespect, but like, I don't know you, so I'm not comfortable, you know, telling you my business. And from then on, you guys, Stormy and Nosy had beef. That was the beginning of the beef. Nobody knows why they had beef. Nosy, it wasn't like Nosy said something in that moment. She didn't get up and leave the table. None of that. She stayed quiet. She talked to the rest of the girls at the table. She continued to act like everything was fine. And then a week later, boom, she and Stormy had beef. Like, where did that come from? So fast forward maybe like, I don't know, like a couple of weeks. At this point, Stormy and Nosy were going at it constantly over social media, at school, and it was kind of like every day I walked into school, I was wondering what's going to happen today. Who's going to start it today? It was literally either Nosy starting it or Nosy's friends starting it. Now, Nosy had two best friends. Only one of them was feeding into the negativity, and we're going to call her, she's not going to be relevant in this story time, but I am going to do a follow-up video, and she's relevant in that story time. So I'm just going to give her a name now, okay? So we're going to call her Quasimodo, but we're gonna call her Quasi for short. So Quasi is Nosy's best friend. So some days Quasi would start with Stormy, some days one of her other friends would start with Stormy, and some days it would be Nosy herself starting with Stormy. Either way, no matter who started it, Stormy always finished it, and it was kind of like she would put them in their place, and then the next day they would come back with something else, just trying to nitpick and trying to poke and pry and all this stuff. It was just a bunch of unnecessary drama. It was honestly like an episode of Bad Girls Club or Maury or Jerry Springer or something. Like, it was crazy. Every time I walked into that school building, it was crazy. You never knew what you were going to get. You never knew what kind of BS they were going to be on that day. It was, you know, it was so unpredictable, and it got so irritating, you guys. One of the main incidents that led up to this rivalry and like this beef, like this extreme beef, was a rumor. I don't know to this day who started the rumor, but it was something along the lines of Eddie cheating on Stormy, and we don't know who he was cheating on her with, allegedly, but allegedly he was cheating on her. Obviously, it's not going to be that hard for Stormy to believe, just because, number one, Eddie went to a completely different high school. Number two, he was a senior in high school, meaning he was about to go off to college once he graduated. Number three, she already had doubts about his intentions with his ex-girlfriend. So there was all these signs that made her believe that it could be true, you know? I guess she, you know, talked to Eddie to see if it was true or not. I don't really know what happened as far as the rumor went. She didn't really tell me what she did about that. However, in the same week that this rumor was going around, she got a phone call, Stormy did, from Eddie, and he went off. He was pissed, he was upset. And basically, long story short, Becky, his ex-girlfriend, and Nosy were cousins. So Nosy was Becky's younger cousin, and I guess Nosy went home and told Becky that she had been having problems out of Stormy. I guess because Becky knew that Stormy was Eddie's new girlfriend, she called Eddie and she said something to him about it, and he went off on Stormy because of it. Now, we don't know what Nosy said to her cousin. To this day, we don't know. However, I can assume that whatever she said, it was enough to make make Becky feel threatened enough to call Eddie and tell him to check his girlfriend or what have you. So Because of all of this drama that happened, the next day, Stormy confronted Nosy and she was like, what did you tell your cousin? I didn't even know that it was your cousin, blah, blah, blah. Did you know that your cousin was my boyfriend's ex? And Nosy was basically just like,
no, I didn't even know that you were talking about him, but now that I know, it's up.
Like pretty much just ready to fight, just on some let's fight type stuff. And Stormy wasn't on that, so she was like, I'm not trying to fight you, I just want to know what you told your cousin. And I don't know how it happened, you guys, because I wasn't there. This is just based off of what I heard from other people and what Stormy told me. Somehow with that little conversation, they got into a fight, which resulted in both of them getting suspended. And this is where things start to kind of take a turn. Fast forward a week later, and at this point, Nosy and Stormy are both suspended. And when I got home, I noticed that I had a kick message from Stormy. And I opened it, and it was basically just saying, hey, this is my number, call me when you get this message. So I called her, and immediately when she picks up the phone, she was hysterical. She was going off. She sounded like she was crying, but I couldn't really tell. But she was pissed. He's cheating on me with this bitch from his past. This old whack, like going berserk. And I'm just like, who? She did not stop to tell me who she was talking about. But when she said, he said he don't want her, he want me. All them times he been blowing me off for this. Really? I knew for a fact that she was talking about Becky at that point. But what I couldn't understand was how Becky all of a sudden was interested in getting back together with Eddie, because last time I had checked, I'm so sorry, y'all. My iPad was about to die and I had to run upstairs and get the charger before it died completely on me. So, yeah. Alright, guys and dolls. Sorry about that, but I am back in action. I just had to get comfortable because it got a little chilly or whatever. Freaking Alaska again. But no, so where did I leave off? Oh, I was talking about Becky. So I was a little confused because last time I checked, when we were talking about Becky not being interested anymore, Stormy was basically telling me how Becky was apparently in an entire relationship with a female, which there's nothing wrong with liking guys and girls or anything like that, but she was in an entire relationship. That's what I'm not understanding. How are you in a relationship with somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with, but you're cheating on them with your ex? Like, I don't understand that. Like, things like that really piss me off, because it's like you're willing to lead somebody else on because you don't know if you want to be with them or your ex. Like, make up your mind. Don't be dragging nobody else down with you. If you don't know what you want, be honest about that. Like, speak up about that. Like, that just frustrates me so much to no end. Like, it infuriates me. But anyway, I'm sitting here processing all the information that my friend just told me. Meanwhile, she's still on the phone, crying her eyes out. She doesn't know what to do. She's pissed. She's talking about pulling up and fighting. And honestly, I'm just telling her, girl, no, you are not about to fight this girl over no nigga who don't even care enough about you to, you know, let you know what's up, let you know what's what. You know, like, ugh, I need a drink. Finally, I talked some sense into her. I kind of calmed her down a little bit. And I'm just like, girl, don't go fighting over this man. Like, obviously he doesn't care. You know, I can't really give her advice because at this point, I had never really had many interactions with guys. Even now in my 20s, I still haven't had much interactions with guys. Like, I've literally only had one solid foundation as it relates to a guy. And I don't know, but I'm just basically trying to be a good friend for her, pretty much. And she's just like, yeah, you're right, this, that, and the third, and then she tells me that she's gonna call me back because apparently Eddie was calling her and we hung up. She didn't call me back that night, but she did kick message me and tell me, you know, what happened. And I guess they patched things up that night. So we're going to fast forward again. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. And one weekend I was hanging out with some friends, you know, chilling. I think we were actually at the mall when this happened. But I got maybe like 3 or 4 missed calls back to back to back from the same unknown number. Like, this number was not saved in my phone. So of course I didn't answer it, number 1, because I didn't know who it was, and number 2, because I don't know who the hell you are. I'm not about to stop my fun and stop what I'm doing to sit and talk to you, and I don't even know who the hell you are. That could have been a bill collector. That could have been like one of them scam likely calls. I didn't know who the hell it was, so I wasn't picking up the phone. So fast forward to maybe like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'm back home. My friends and I have spent the day together or whatever. I'm back home and I'm in my room, and the same number calls me again. So I pick up this time and I'm like, hello, who is this? And some woman, like, I've never heard this voice before. The name wasn't even familiar. And she's like,
Yeah, hello. Is this Stormy's friend?
and I was like, yeah, who is this? And we're going to call her Paula, okay? So I'm like, who is this? And she's like,
Yeah, this is Paula.
and I was like, okay, like, what is this about? And she was like,
So, your friend, how long she been with Eddie?
and I'm just like, where is this going? And I was like, they've been together for maybe about like a month or 2, because at this point they had been talking or together or involved, whatever the hell you want to call it. It had been like either 2.5 months or like just at 2 months. So I'm just sitting here trying to figure out who this person is, because like, number 1, you've been calling me all day. Number 2, how the hell do you know Stormy? Number 3, what is this about? Number 4, why are you asking questions about my friend and her boyfriend? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, you got some explaining to do at this point. So she was like,
I know this may sound a little weird because y'all are babies, so y'all not gonna understand, but I just started talking to Eddie maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I found out about Stormy because I went through his phone. I feel like if I went to Stormy woman to woman, she wouldn't understand, and you know, y'all are babies.
she just kept saying, y'all are babies, y'all are babies. And I'm like, how old is this woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confused at this point. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? So at this point, now I'm trying to get information out of her, and I'm like, so where did you meet him? When did you meet him? This, that, and the third. Blah, blah, blah. How did you not know about Stormy? Because if she follows this dude on Instagram, like if she followed him on Instagram, she would see Stormy everywhere. Literally, this guy had Stormy posted everywhere, from his Snapchat to his Instagram. Come to find out, this nigga got 2 Instagram pages, one that's private and the other one that's not private. The one that where he posts Stormy everywhere, that one is private. The other one is not private. And he was smart about it because he didn't follow the other Instagram, the one where Stormy was posted everywhere. He didn't follow that Instagram page from his other Instagram page, because I don't know if I'm making sense, but like, I have my regular personal Instagram page, and then I just recently made a music page, and I follow my music page on my private page, and I follow my private page on my music page. Well, my page, neither page is private, but you know, my personal page. So turns out he had 2 accounts. One was private, one was public, and the private one, not the private one, the public one is the one that this Paula lady followed. So she didn't know nothing about Stormy until she went through his phone. I called Stormy right after I got off the phone with Miss Paula. I'm gonna call her Miss Paula because Miss Paula was really cool too. Like, she was really nice. So if you watching this, hey Miss Paula. I called Stormy and I tell her about what me and Miss Paula just finished talking about, and she was like, wait, Paula? And I was like, yeah. I was like, you know that name? And she was like, yeah, he told me that was his auntie. I asked Stormy, I was like, so you've seen her before? She was like, not in person, like we've never met, but I saw pictures of her in his phone, and I asked him who it was. Like, it was pictures of them together, and I asked him who it was, and he said it was his Aunt Paula. And I was like, how old she look? She was like, girl, 30, 35 at max. And I was like, are you kidding me? This dude is out here talking to women older than him. Like, but yeah, so I told her about what me and Miss Paula talked about, and she's just like, that is crazy. Like, that's some messed up stuff. And long story short, you know, she ended up breaking up with him. Now, that is not where the story stops, but that's where the story stops 6 years ago. But there's a lot of drama and a lot of stuff that we got to talk about next Saturday. And to be honest, you guys, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to fit all the tea in that one video. So I'm probably going to have to make a part 3 to this story time, you guys. So please stay tuned. Yeah, you guys, that's all I have for this particular story time video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you would like to join my R.A.T.S fam here on YouTube, all you have to do is comment, like, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications so you don't miss a beat. And until the next video, you guys, please, 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 please be safe, stay bold, stay beautiful. And at the end of the day, when all else fails, just be real about the sugar honey iced tea, baby. And I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Mwah. Peace out.
I'd rather keep it real with ya. I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid, what's happening?